everybody, it's Keira and welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Now this video is probably one of the hardest videos I'm going to have to do, and it's just because I've had to pick through so many drivers and I have had to make difficult decisions for this video. So today's video is me picking my dream driver lineup from every single driver that has drove for the current teams on the Formula 1 grid ever, basically. So take Mercedes, I will look through their history and I will pick 2 drivers as my dream lineup for that team. Somebody actually mentioned this video to me on Twitter when I asked, so thank you so much to who that was. This was such a great idea. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I definitely want to be doing this. So yeah, it is the current teams on the grid. Maybe sometimes in their previous form, but I'm not going to go back and back and back. But for example, like Racing Point and Force India, I will class that as the same thing, if that makes sense. So before I get into the video, if you do enjoy it, please give it a big thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to my channel down below. But yeah, let's just get started. And before I start reading these out, I'm well aware that we will have different opinions, okay? So don't come for me in the comments. I've just picked ones that I think will be, you know, good, and I will explain my reasonings and stuff like that. So first, let's start off with Mercedes. They were in Formula 1 when it first began in 1954 and 1955, but then didn't come back. They just left. They just thought, no, we're not staying here. And then they came back in 2010, and obviously, as we know, have completely dominated since. But my dream driver lineup for Mercedes is going to be, firstly, Lewis Hamilton. I don't think I could pick anybody else. As we know, he's literally one of the greatest of all time. He is my favourite driver. I would not be it would be criminal of me to actually have a driver lineup for Mercedes if I didn't have Lewis in it. He's an amazing driver, all-rounder driver. Just he's got it all. And to partner him, I am choosing the 5-time champion Juan Manuel Fangio. What a lineup, just saying that. How many championships have you got right there? I can't do the maths. Fangio was in Mercedes' team for the 54 and the 55 season, both the years that Mercedes were in Formula 1 for. And he won the title with Mercedes for both of those times. So it's very similar to Lewis, where when Lewis is with Mercedes, he's going to win. And then when Fangio was with Mercedes back then, he was going to win. And it would have been quite interesting to see if Mercedes would have stayed in the sport, how many more Fangio would have got. But yeah, I mean, this lineup was just perfect. Actually, to have Fangio and Lewis Hamilton in one team, like, it would be over for everybody else. So next I move on to Ferrari. We know Ferrari have been in the sport since right the beginning, even before Mercedes in 1950. And I mean, think of all the Ferrari drivers. This was probably the hardest one because it's Ferrari. If you're a Ferrari driver, you are amazing, basically. So I had to pick through a lot of drivers. They've been around for the longest time as well, so I had a lot of drivers to pick through. But I have, of course, chosen the legend that is 7-time world champion Michael Schumacher. I don't know if it would be a good thing because I think it's a little bit awkward to actually work with, but if I'm just looking at the baseline and looking at who I want driving my car, of course I want Michael Schumacher driving my car. He was incredible. He was with the team for 10 years, from 96 to 2006. He knew the team so well, so I feel like if I was the boss of Ferrari, like, I know that that guy knows that team. Like, I know that that guy knows what he's doing and he's just going to be there. And to partner him, I have chosen none other than 3-time Formula 1 champion Niki Lauda. Now, Niki actually won 2 of his championships with Ferrari and was just all-round an amazing driver. We know what Niki went through to, you know, be so close to death and then to come back is incredible. He had a good time at Ferrari, as we know, won 2 championships, was just an all-round very good driver. Niki was somebody that I just looked up to, and I still find it so weird that he isn't here today to be with us because he was just such a great man. To actually have Niki and Michael on the same team, I don't know how well it would go. I don't know whether they'd actually like work well together or not, but that would be a dream Ferrari lineup for me. Now, next, moving on to Red Bull, who came into the sport in 2005. Now, we've had a lot of Red Bull drivers. We've had a lot of controversial Red Bull drivers. We've had a lot of things going on with Red Bull. Red Bull are just the drama central. So picking this was difficult, but I've steered away from any drama. I've steered away from any Sebastian Vettels or Mark Webbers or Daniel Kvyat or even Max Verstappen's. I've steered away from them all. And I have gone with Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo was with the team from 2014 to 2018. He was through their development program as well. So he was properly in that Red Bull family for quite a long time. And Daniel, he's one of my favourite drivers. He was quite comfortable in that car, which is quite weird to think actually, because not many people are comfortable in a Red Bull other than Max Verstappen. We've seen that with Alex Albon, we've seen that with Pierre Gasly, but Daniel was very comfortable in that car and he performed very well. I would love to have him back at Red Bull, but maybe without Max and maybe without the toxicness, I don't know. And to partner him, I've actually said David Coulthard, which I know is probably a little bit of a shocker to someone, but I really like David Coulthard. He wasn't like the best driver, but I think he would partner Daniel quite nicely. He was there from 2005 to 2008. I just feel like it would be a good lineup. There's not anything too deep in this one. I just feel like it would be a good quirky lineup. I feel like they'd race well together. It'd be a solid team, really. I just think it would be good. Now next I'm going to be moving on to Renault. Renault joined the sport in 1977 and the lineup I have chosen is Jenson Button. I know, did we even remember that Jenson drove for Renault? Because I literally didn't. Jenson Button of course is a one-time Formula 1 champion. He was at Renault in 2002. I don't know what he done at Renault. I don't know if he was any good. I'm just judging this on actually Jenson, not how he was at the time of Renault, but he was there in 2002 and we all love Jenson Button. I mean, Jenson Button is such an amazing driver. There's nothing bad you can say about Jenson Button. Solid driver, very fast guy. If I'm making a dream Formula 1 grid, Jenson has got to be on it. And to partner him is none other than the 2017 and 2018 Renault driver, Nico Hülkenberg. Nico Hülkenberg, what a man, what an amazing man. So unlucky with how many times he has missed out on a podium. He is just such an all-rounded driver. We've seen from last year, he can get called up to drive a car like 2 hours before he needs to get into quali. He will be straight on that car and he will perform. And that's what I want from somebody in my team. And I think that's such a solid lineup. They are quite similar in a way. I feel like they drive quite similar. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But nevertheless, I do still think it's a very strong lineup. So next I'm moving on to Force India / Racing Point, who joined the sport in 2008. Now, this is a good lineup, okay? This is a very relevant lineup. This is somebody new. I haven't gone with Jarno Trulli. I haven't gone with Fisichella. I haven't gone with older people like that. I have gone with 2021 Aston Martin driver, because I am including Aston Martin, and that is Sebastian Vettel. I had to put Sebastian somewhere. I didn't really want to put him in Red Bull. I have a really good feeling about Aston Martin this year. So I definitely feel like he's going to be good there. So I would put him in the Aston Martin / Racing Point. Obviously, we know he is a 4-time world champion with Red Bull. I could have put him with Red Bull. I'll put him with Racing Point / Aston Martin. I don't know what to call this. Racing Point, Aston Martin? I don't know. And to partner him is the 7-year running Sergio Perez that was for Racing Point. You know, I don't know who else I could put in that team. Sergio Perez is the definition of Racing Point. Like, he owned them. He should still be there now, but obviously he's not. But he's kind of got a better seat now, so it's so weird how I'm putting one driver that came from Red Bull with the driver that is now left for Red Bull. But I think it would be a great lineup, such a strong lineup. If we were to actually have seen this on the grid this year, I probably would have weed myself. It would have been so good. Like, it would have been so good. Like, imagine it. Actually imagine it now. That is what we all want to see. No disrespect to Lance Stroll. I think he's amazing. But it would have been really interesting to have seen this lineup. Checo is very strong. Sebastian's very strong. I think they would have worked. They would have worked so well together. But yeah, that's my dream lineup for Racing Point / Aston Martin / Force India. Next is McLaren, who joined the sport in 1966. Again, how difficult this is to do the McLaren lineup, I don't know. McLaren probably, arguably, have had the best lineups out of everything and everybody. Like, even over Ferrari, I'd say McLaren have had better drivers. It was really difficult to pick. So I'm going to go with the 1976 Formula 1 champion in James Hunt. James Hunt was such an amazing guy, was such a character as well. I think everybody probably knew him more for his character. Well, not more for his character, but just as much for his character as for his racing. He was a really incredible guy, had a great stint at McLaren, and then after that actually done some commentary. Sadly, he did pass away way too young. But I feel like he was just such a good racing driver. Like, he was just so good. Like, everything about him was a really good driver. And a world champion again. There's so many world champions to pick from. I mean, I'm not surprised because there is a champion every single year. But you know what I mean? Like, I just think he would be the perfect guy that I would put in my McLaren. Alongside the one and only Ayrton Senna, I don't think I could have picked anybody else to put next to him. Obviously, I was thinking of where to place maybe Alan Prost, maybe where to put even a new driver like Lando Norris, but ultimately I went with Ayrton Senna. I just think, imagine having Senna and Hunt together like that. Again, it makes me want to well up. This is so, what a dream team. What a dream team. They are the best drivers of their eras. Obviously, Ayrton, 3-time Formula 1 world champion. He is deemed as one of the greatest drivers of all time. And, you know, he probably could have gone he definitely could have gone a lot further if he hadn't had his accident at Imola. So, to have both of those drivers in one team, like, even in that now, this day and age, I think would be just unreal, amazing. I would pay for that right now. I mean, I don't have the money for it, but I would. So next is Alfa Romeo, who joined the sport in 1993. Obviously, Alfa Romeo have been under the name of Sauber for most of the time, but this is kind of the date I'm going to go back from. And my driver lineup is going to consist of Pascal Wehrlein, who was in the team for only 2017. If you know me, you know I love Pascal Wehrlein. He had such bad luck with how Mercedes treated him in Formula 1. He should have been in Formula 1 for a lot longer. He deserved it. He's a very fast driver. Obviously, now in Formula E, doing a great job. He's going to be a Porsche for next year, or for this year. I keep thinking it's still 2020. It's 2021. Pascal Wehrlein. I mean, he should have stayed. He only didn't stay because of links and money and all that sort of thing. But the talent is there. He's a great driver, and he should be there. But alongside, okay, alongside one of the greats as well. I know you might be thinking, who am I going to say? It's 1996 to 1998 Alfa Romeo driver, Johnny Herbert. Honestly, what a lineup of Johnny Herbert and Pascal Wehrlein. This is probably my favourite one. I know, I think I've said that for everyone, but the other ones are like, you know, they're like historic. They are like championship worthy. This is just Johnny Herbert and Pascal Wehrlein. Like, what a duo. Oh my God. Honestly, Johnny Herbert wasn't the best driver, but then he wasn't the worst driver. He's kind of a mediocre driver. I think Pascal kind of, in terms of his Formula 1 career, he kind of was a mediocre driver as well. But definitely, if you was put them in an Alfa Romeo now and maybe up the Alfa Romeo's, you know, power unit a little bit more, give them a Mercedes, give them a good chassis, get them to the top, this would be such a good lineup. Like, this would be such a good lineup. So I would definitely take that Alfa Romeo lineup every single day. Probably not everyone's cup of tea, but definitely mine. So we're on to our last couple of teams now. Next, I'm going to move on to Williams. Again, a very difficult one, who have been in the sport since 1977 and obviously was family run up until at the end of last year. So many drivers have been at Williams. So many drivers have been at Williams. But I am going to start with the one that is the most... obviously, I am more of a modern Formula 1 driver. I'm not just going to pick all the older drivers, even though they are amazing. But, you know, we've got to have a bit of youth in there. And the youth is George Russell, who has been at the team for nearly 3 years now. George is just, for me, he's going to be the next Lewis Hamilton. He's going to have... He has the same driving style. I've done a video on George Russell before. I will leave it somewhere on my channel or leave it up here, whatever. George is just that talent. He is just that talent. I would have him in my car any day, in any team. I would have George Russell there. He's got so much potential. He really wants it. He's got the experience. He's got kind of the knowledge of Lewis Hamilton because he grew up learning from Lewis. Honestly, George Russell. And to partner him, I'm saying the 1996 world champion Damon Hill. I don't think I could have picked anybody else. I feel like at the time, Damon was a very different character. So I think probably in Damon's time, him and George might not have been the best of teammates. But now, once Damon's kind of more came about shell and relaxed a little bit more, I definitely feel like there would be very good connections to put together. And it would be a very strong lineup. I definitely think it would be good. I think they both drive each other, and I feel like you just have a very big push in the team, especially if it is a team like Williams who are struggling. Like, if we put them in the 2020 Williams, I feel like they would both get the most out of the car, and you would see both drivers outperforming the car. Next is Haas, and they only joined the sport in 2016, so there are not too many drivers to pick from, but the one I am going to go with first is Kevin Magnussen. Kevin Magnussen joined Haas in 2017 and left in 2020, and I am a massive fan of Kevin Magnussen. I know a lot of people aren't, and I know he's very controversial with what he does, but honestly, I think he is a very good driver. I think he's very fast. I'm not sure whether his time was done in Formula 1. It kind of was at Haas, but I feel like if he had a new lease of life somewhere else, he's very unfortunate throughout his career. So I definitely feel like he could have a different, like another shot in my Haas team. Like, this is my Haas team. I think he could have a shot in my Haas team. And yeah, I just think Kevin Magnussen's great. And to partner him, I am putting him with Mick Schumacher, the current Formula 2 driver and the Haas driver for 2021. This is the driver lineup that Gunther Steiner, and I think most of us actually wanted, well, most of us wanted Callum Ilott and Mick Schumacher, but other than that, we would have taken Kevin Magnussen and Mick Schumacher, and this was the lineup that Gunther Steiner wanted as well, but obviously that wasn't to happen. But what a lineup. Mick Schumacher, young talent coming up, why would you not want a Schumacher in a Haas? I mean, it's probably not going to be the best for this year, but in terms of my driver lineup and my lineup, you know, I've got two Schumachers on the grid. I've got Michael in Ferrari and I've got Mick in the Haas, and I just think that's perfect for me. That's amazing, and this is a good team. This is a good team. I think Mick and Kevin could push each other, and it would be good. I'm very worried there could be a little bit of a spicy battle, but hopefully they keep it clean. And the final team is Toro Rosso / AlphaTauri. They joined the sport in 2006, and this lineup is good. Now, I could have easily have gone with the 2021 lineup in Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda, but I'm not. I have gone with Pierre Gasly, who has been in the team since 2017. As we know, I think Pierre Gasly is an amazing driver. GP2 champion in 2016, has completely dominated in the Toro Rosso every single year he's been in it. Obviously had that stint at Red Bull, but we're not going to talk about that. We only talk about the Toro Rosso and AlphaTauri times here. Just an all-round amazing driver. You know how much I like Pierre Gasly. I would never not have a grid with Pierre Gasly in it, that is for sure. And to partner him, I have got the 2012 to 2014 Toro Rosso driver in Jean-Eric Vergne. And I'm not just being biased because Jean-Eric Vergne is basically my boss at Veloce. I am putting Jean in because Jean-Eric Vergne is such a good driver. He's an amazing driver. I know I've said that about all of them. I've got their amazing driver. But Jean had the talent in Formula 1. He had the talent before. He has the talent after in Formula E. He's always got the talent. I feel like no matter where he is, he's got talent. And I know for well he would show up. He would be interested. He'd be willing. And he would get the performance out of the car. And that's something that not all drivers can do. And there's not all, you know, natural ability. Some drivers do not have this natural ability. I definitely believe that Jeff does. And to have Pierre and Jeff in one team, A, would be very French. B would be very strong, and just C would be all round fun, entertaining, and powerful. Like, the word I could think of is powerful. So there we have it. That is my dream Formula 1 grid. Obviously I could have made other ones, but this is just kind of what I thought fit best. I'll put it on the screen now as kind of everybody all together. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below, and let me know in the comment section below what you would do, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Obviously as I said, there are so many drivers I could have put in this. We've got the whole of Formula 1 I could have put in this. So it could have been anybody, but let me know what you thought of my lineup. Let me know everything basically in the comment section below. And yeah, that's it for today's video. I will see you again soon for another one. Goodbye.